Okay, folks, this is Kim Willis again, of course. Well, I hope that's my name. Anyway, this is a little clinic or a lesson basically showing you how to create some simple content from scratch, just from a basic idea. Everything starts with the idea, a germ of an idea. It could be your own idea. It could be an idea that you've seen elsewhere. It could be someone else's post, Facebook post or blog post or whatever, a piece of content that you've seen somewhere else, and you thought, oh, that looks pretty good. I'd love to create my own version of that. Of course, you don't copy. You can't plagiarize. You must create your own unique version. But ideas are a dime a dozen. So you can gather ideas from anywhere. And believe me, they are everywhere. Ideas are everywhere. So you just use the idea as a seed, right? Just as a seed of an idea. And then you can pivot off from that idea and create your own unique version. Now, I'm on my wall here, as you can see, my Facebook wall. And look, I'm drawing on my own experiences in the past. So we all have different attributes that we can bring to the table. We've got different assets and skills and ideas and opinions and viewpoints and knowledge bases that we can draw on. So that's what we bring to the table. Now, I bring something different to the table compared to you in all probability. So this blog post that I've got here is basically, I'm just expressing an opinion, drawing on my own background. I'm talking about top tier marketing. It's not a very long post. It's quite short, isn't it? It's only 3 and a bit paragraphs. And this one is really targeting people who are in the big ticket arena. They're either looking at joining one of those big ticket programs or they're already in one. So I'll put out posts like that. Now, if you're new to this make money online niche or space, you're new to affiliate marketing, network marketing, online marketing, call it what you like. They've got different tags, haven't they? But if you're new to it, haven't made any money yet, all right, no problem. You can, you don't have success to draw on yet, right? So you can't talk from that kind of perspective. But here's something that you can talk about. You can talk about your own experiences in another career and then maybe modify that experience or apply that experience to your new venture, okay? A lesson that you learned. A great lesson, a parable, a metaphor. You can do things like that. Another type of content that people love is personal development content. You're not talking about how much money you made or anything like that. And by the way, even if you've made money, I don't talk much at all about the money that I've made, even though I've made more than 99% of affiliate marketers. I don't talk about it. Except, well, occasionally I'll talk about it, but on a day-to-day basis, no, I never talk about it. I talk about issues, principles, concepts, great life lessons, okay? And people like that, generally. Not always, but they generally like it. But you're on safe ground if you stay with if you lead with personal development. So until you start making money, I would say just more or less talk about personal development topics, subject matter. The other type of thing that you can do is you can report tips that you learned. You watched a video from some other guru and you took some notes and you picked up some tips. So you can report those to your friends, your followers, your fans, whatever. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to create a little piece of content for Facebook from scratch and show you how to do it. And I'm going to enlist the support of two tools that I use. One is called Grammarly and the other is called Hemingway. And I'm going to show you how to use these tools. Okay, so first up, I'm going to go over to my content file, and you'll see down here that I've got two primary files that I work with when it comes to creating content. I've got raw quotes, so I'll go up the top here. I've got raw quotes, okay, so it's on the left hand side. And then I will create my version. So sometimes the quotes are my ideas, other times I'm drawing from somebody else's idea. So there's a guy there, Justice Egan, he's a good guy. And I saw this quote from him and I liked it. And it was just a paragraph. I went a bit overboard. I haven't yet posted this because it's possibly a little bit too long for Facebook. It'll be actually a good basis for a blog post. But I've extended the whole idea into another concept altogether. You see, that's my version. This is his version, right? So I got a bit creative with that one. But I haven't yet published this one because it needs a bit of work and I just haven't had time to go back to it. So I've got different ideas in the works at any one time. Here's another one from Darren Gaudry, friend of mine. Julie Willett's Facebook friend of mine. This is the first piece of content I seen from her that has some substance to it. And it looks like it's about 5 or 6 paragraphs there. But I haven't created my version of it. I may never do anything with it. I may end up deleting it. But I thought it was quite a nice post from her. And I thought, well, maybe there's a germ of an idea there for me. We'll see. We'll come back to it. Of course, I have my own ideas as well. So here's one here. I know it's hard, and I've actually written that. I just haven't posted it yet. I need to refine it a bit. This one has the headline, Imagine That. I'll just give it a bit of bold. Here's another one. I can't afford it. I haven't even started on that, but I start with the headline quite often. I can't afford it. So people say to you, I like what I saw, I like your program, but I just can't afford it. I haven't got any money. Well, maybe it's true. Maybe they are flat broke, but maybe they're just putting up that money objection as an excuse. It's not real. I've got in works here a little words that sell blog post, just a simple tip that I might write out and put up on Facebook. How the Mighty Have Fallen. All right, yeah, that needs a bit more work. I've actually written it. It's about 90% done. But you don't have to be doing this. I'm just drawing on my experiences. Plotter's Revenge. Yeah, it's various ideas like that. I usually start with the headline, as I say. The problem with juggling two... the problem with juggling two balls... yeah, but I haven't done that one yet. Let's see, what other ideas have I got here? Okay, this is one. I know that already. All hat, no cattle. This is about the know-it-alls that you see on Facebook and Twitter and elsewhere. They know it all. They've attended every seminar. They know every strategy. But they're not making any money. So this is a bit of a play on the idea of a Texan with a big hat. You know, the Texan, the old joke, the Texan, he walks around town with a big hat, but he's got no cattle. So he's kind of faking it, right? So there's a lot of marketers out there like that. This is a good one. Give without strings, new way of doing business. I try and operate that way as best I can. Trump and his #1 marketing mistakes. I've got all these ideas here. This is another one about fat bastard mini me. This is an idea that I got from a blog post that I wrote 18 months ago. It was called Fat Bastard Mini Me. Oh dear. I've got all sorts of crazy ideas here. Roaring back like a lion. Expand your vision. That's a good one to write about, a good topic to write about. This one, the source here is Darren Little. He's another marketer on Facebook. I haven't created my version of it. Once again, I may never do it. Every now and again I'll go through these lists and I'll cull them. I just say, I'm never going to do it. I lost the spark. When I first put it down, when I first put it into this column here, I I had a spark for it. I had some inspiration. And this is what I sometimes find. I had the inspiration at the time, but unless I actually write that little post now, I go back to it in a week or a month's time and I think, well, why did I get inspired about that? I've lost the spark. So I end up deleting them. But look, here's one that I'm going to work on today. This is just someone else's blog post, Facebook post. And I'm going to create a version of it. So what is he saying here? Life is just way too short to worry about what others think or say about you. Get out there, have fun, do what makes you happy, and give them something to talk about. All right, I like that one. So let's start with the Grammarly first. So I go up to Grammarly. Okay, I've got some stuff in the works here. I forgot about that. All right, so I'll just post the originator's quote post in there, and I'll see what I can do with this. Life is just way too short to worry about. I could lead just with a sentence without a headline, but I do like to put a headline in. I love writing headlines. I used to write copy as a professional copywriter years ago, and I always started with the headline. And I love writing the headline. Love writing the headline, and sparks fly once I've got a good headline. Sometimes I'll write like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different headlines for the same post. This is more for a blog post, or if I was writing sales copy, right? I don't just have one headline. I'll have a number of them, and then I'll let it sit there for a few days. I'll come back, and then I'll refine it down from, say, 8 headlines down to 3 or 4, and then down to 1 or 2, and then finally select one. But I'm just writing the copy. In the meantime, I'm writing the copy for to support the headline, because the headlines will have some similarity to them, so I can start writing the copy. I don't have to choose the final headline right now. But this one, life is just way too short to worry about what others think or say about you. Get out there, have fun, and do what makes you happy, and give them something to talk about. Okay, well, one that immediately comes to mind is Don't Worry, Be Happy. Do you remember that song by Bobby McFerrin? Don't Worry, Be Happy. So I could lead with that. It may not be the final headline. I may come up with something else. I could do something a bit more provocative, such as to hell with, I use EM, bit of slang. To hell with them. Shall I give it an exclamation mark? I don't like using exclamation marks. I do use them, but I don't use them very often. They actually detract from the message. They weaken it. There are some circumstances where it is important to use it, but people use them far too often, and they weaken the content. He's got two here. He's only got 2 sentences. He's got an exclamation mark after each. You don't need it. Will I continue on with an exclamation mark after this headline? I don't know. I'll think about it. Here it could work. It might be appropriate. Now, see, Grammarly has already said that, oh, well, you're using slang. But look, they give you latitude. They say that. If you want to use slang, if you're using it for impact reasons, use it. Don't just ignore their advice. Their advice is to just say with them. But I'm saying EM, apostrophe EM, has got more, offers more impact. Okay, so I would stay with that. But I might use the Don't Worry, Be Happy one. Okay, so now let's start on the copy. All right, most people are too worried about what people think of them I just had another idea. This happens. As soon as I get one, I have to write it down, otherwise I'll forget it. I'll just put it up here. got a space here rather than scroll right down the page again. Just create a space here. This is just another post idea that I just got. I have to move fast. And it is this: most people are too busy making a living than to make any real money. Okay, that headline was a headline that was concocted by a guy called Joe Szabo, and I just thought of it. Just random thought, and I'm going to write something about that, because I don't know why that headline came to the forefront of my thinking just then when I'm trying to do this other thing for you. But sometimes it does. When you get into the sort of creative mode, you get all sorts of crazy random thoughts. Okay, most people are too worried about what people think of them. Too worried about what people think of them. So they spin their wheels hoping that most people are too worried about what people think of them, so they spin their wheels hoping that paralyzed by fear. They spin their wheels, paralyzed by fear. Inertia reigns supreme. How come? Well, for some, it's because they have an overweening need for approval. So they don't move forward on anything until they get a green light from their friends and or their family. But here is what I found, or here is what I learned. So I'm in the Grammarly chat box here, as you can see. I just want to make this clear. So, or the dialogue box, or the content box, and it's editing, giving me all of the editing or improvement advice or recommendations as I go. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and then I'll use their advice, apply their ideas, and make some changes. Okay, so here's what I learned. If I had waited for my family to approve my desire to make money online way back when be up the proverbial creek without a paddle. Today, that's about it. If I was writing a blog post, okay, I'd keep going until I had at least 500 words. I'm up to, down the bottom there, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like it's 236 words. I'll just finish off. So. I might just say, like, my best tip. Seeing as you are the one who has to make a new venture work, you're the one who must take the lead. I'm not saying if you've got a wife or a husband, a spouse, not to talk to them. That's different. I talk to my wife. But let me tell you something. This is, I mean, I could turn this into a complete blog post, but if I did turn it into a blog post, this is the kind of thing that I'd be writing about. I did talk to my wife, but guess what? I'd already made the decision that I was going to join this online money-making program. A long time ago. I'd already made the decision. So I made the decision I was going to do it. And then the second decision I made was that I needed to talk to her about it and tell her why I think it's a great idea. So in other words, I sold it to her. That's the difference. I didn't go to her and say, oh, can you give me some approval? Can you give me an opinion on this or something like that? Now, of course, if she had strongly objected, I would have backed off that deal. No question. No question about it. I wouldn't go against her if she had a strong view. But she could see that I had a strong view in its favour. And she bought into it. She bought into my vision. And, you know, I became successful. So I backed my own judgment and she backed my judgment. Now, my best tip, seeing as you are the one who is... yeah, well, that's ugly. See, that reads ugly, seeing as you are the one. So we'll tidy that up. So let's just have a look here. So we've got, don't worry, be happy, to hell with them. Most people, let's have a look at the editing marks there. Okay, we'll say paralyzed is a British and American way of saying it. So they're saying Z with a Z or a Z. What are we? They're saying... Oh, okay, I got it. Inertia, I got, yeah, that's a typo. See how easy it is? It's much easier than typing into a Word document. You just click and it'll repair it for you. Forward, don't. So I type really rough in for the first draft, you know. I'm going to disregard what they're saying. They're saying I've got to choose between and or. But no, I want both, between their friends and or their family. Well, maybe I should just leave it and. People know that it could be either or. Okay, I'll do that. Learnt. Yeah, I always get this wrong. So it's learned. If I'd yeah, okay, this is a bit messy. If I'd waited for my family to approve my desire to make... If I wait for my family to approve, right? Okay. I'll come back to that one. There's a reason for it. Remove the comma. They're saying no comma, so I'll take their advice. This is going to be the, and they'll automatically fix that migrating character there. So this is, see how easy it is and quick it is. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'll just take the body, I won't take the headline, but I'll take the body copy. Oops. I'll paste it into Hemingway. And see what Hemingway think about it. Or I thought they might do that. Okay, let's bring it down here. I'll break up the paragraph. That's one thing I'm going to do right now. There it is there. Smaller paragraphs is what you need. Here is what I learned. If I had words now, what they're saying is that this is too hard to read. Okay, so it's that colour there. Too hard to read. Don't worry about that where it says 68 sentences, because I've got all this text above it from a previous exercise. So there's only one sentence here that they're saying for this particular exercise that they're saying is hard to read. And I kind of deliberately did it, left it like that. I didn't change it in Grammarly, because I wanted you to see the problem. And of course, if I kept going, let's say I said, I added some more text there, made it a super long sentence. Well, when it all boiled down, okay, see how the colour has gone from that colour there. I'm colourblind, so is that a green or a yellow, orange, something? I don't know. It's gone from that colour to this colour, which is kind of like a dark pink or a purple, because it's even worse. This is the worst. This is very hard to read. This one up here is hard to read. So we've got to at least get it down to hard to read. Right now they're saying it's very hard to read. So okay, so I shall remove that superfluous text, because that was just an example, just to show you. If I had waited for my family to approve my desire to make money, well, that reads bad, so we've got to change that. If I had waited for my family to approve my plan, so I can remove just remove this. Okay, it's brought it down. It's removed the warning colour there, but it still needs more work. If I had waited for my family to approve my plan way back when, this is still messy. I think the way back when needs to be dumped. If I had waited for my family to approve my plan way back when, today I'd be up the proverbial creek without a paddle. Here's what I learned. If I had waited for my family to approve my plan, my original plan, my plan, maybe. Yeah, remove that comma. I think that's better. To remove my plan way back when, today I'd be up the proverbial creek Well, for some it's because they have an overweening need for their approval, so they don't move forward on anything until they get a green light from their friends and their family. Okay, well that's, we don't need two theirs, right? Whoops. From friends and from their friends and family. See, you have to be ruthless at removing superfluous words. And here is what I learned. I'm not sure if that's right. So they don't move forward on anything until they get a green light from their friends and family. Okay, I'm going to remove this completely. I don't really need it. See? I'm just looking for the seamlessness. It needs the theme needs to flow. Okay, so it says here, so they don't move forward on anything until they get a green light from their friends and family. If I had waited for my family to approve my plan way back when, today I'd be up the proverbial creek without a paddle. I still think it probably needs a bridge. Maybe the bridge could just be the word but. But if I had waited for my family to approve my plan way back when, today I'd be up the proverbial creek without a paddle. Alright, that's better than what it was. I probably wouldn't post this immediately. I'm just going to put it back, so I want to look at it again after I have something to eat and have a bit of a break from the work I've been doing the last couple of few hours. And then I'll look at it with a new set of eyes, and I may well change. This doesn't quite gel with me. I may come up with something else, but right now it's okay, and it's better than what it was, and there are no spelling mistakes, and the grammar is fine. Alright, so I've got it here. Where's the Darren one? There it is. Okay, so that's my version of his. Just bring the point size down. Now, okay, it's gone. Oh dear, it's gone all the way down the page. I'll tidy that up. Just going back to the original idea, life is just way too short to worry about what others think or say about you. I could improve on that. I've got my version. This is my version, okay? So it's completely unique to me. It's original. Just removing the spaces. That's it. And then, oh yeah, I need to put in the headline, don't I? Well, which one? Or none of them. Don't worry, be happy. Oh. I used the more aggressive one. Whoops, wrong page. To hell with them, make it bold. Now, if I was to put his post into Grammarly, I wonder what it would say. Let's have a look. Okay, they're just saying that there's a proposition at the end of a sentence. This is one where you make a judgment call. You don't take all of their advice necessarily. Grammarly's advice. You just use it as a guide. But just the spell checking facility alone is awesome. And the grammar. It will improve the grammar, for sure. You don't have to accept all the recommendations, but it will definitely make a difference for you. No doubt about it. They're saying a preposition at the end of the sentence is a no-no, and it is a no-no if we were to be super pedantic about it. But sometimes it can work, and this instance maybe it does work. Now let me just put it into Hemingway and see what Hemingway say. Drop it down a bit so we don't get confused. All right, they're saying it's cool. All right. I bet I could improve upon it, but anyway, I'll leave it. All right, there you have it. Aren't these fantastic tools? Hemingway and Grammarly, and they're both free. So there you go. Gee, they're valuable. They save time. They do. They save time. So they can turn almost anybody into a reasonable writer, not a genius, but a reasonable writer, and that's really all you need. That's all you need. Okay, this is Kim Willis. Bye for now.